I thank the member for Sydney. The member for Higgins.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I rise to announce that I'm very excited by an election commitment that is now being rolled out to remove the Glenferrie Road level crossing in my constituency of Higgins. And this is very exciting because I have actual personal experience with this level crossing. That is because my family lived in Warra Street along the railway line, and I brought up my small children in this area. And I also had a small medical practice along the railway line as well. So I have had first-hand experience of knowing how dangerous, how congested and how painful having this level crossing has been to the locals of this area. And I'm so delighted because hundreds of locals have written to me, and to be able to deliver a $260 million commitment for the removal of the Glenferrie Road level crossing, and additionally to provide $8 million for a business plan, not just for the Glenferrie Road level crossing, but for the Glenferrie line, including the other intersections that are adjacent to the Glenferrie Road crossing at Kooyong Station, is of great delight to me. Now, the Victorian government has had on its list this level crossing for decades. In fact, Vic Roads has identified that this is the last level crossing that has rail, cars, trams and pedestrians all confluent in this one area. And as someone who has sat in my medical practice and waited for patients to turn up late to their appointment every single time that I had appointments, it was just an example of how painful it is to local businesses. Now, it's the reverse of what often happens for medical practitioners, because often it's our patients kept waiting for us. But in this case, my practice was often held up because patients were sitting on the other side of the boom gate waiting for a significant period of time. In fact, we know from reports that for 30% of the time in peak hour, both morning and evening, the boom gates are down. So the congestion is awful, with cars stacked up for hundreds of metres in both directions every morning and every night. Just go down to Warra Street and you can see it for yourself. On top of this, it's very dangerous because it's a pedestrian crossing and there are parks close by, and children, young families are taking their kids down to the park with their family pet or to play football, and this is a very dangerous level crossing. So it's great delight that we're going to have a congestion busting removal of a level crossing. I'm very delighted that with my colleague and good friend, the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, and I announced recently the commencement of this project with regards to a business plan to look at the best way to remove this dangerous level crossing that is a choke point for congestion, which is unsafe, so that we can ensure that families can get home more quickly to their loved ones, that families can walk to the park and do so in a safe way with their loved ones, and that we can make sure that businesses can get on with doing business in the way that they need to without sitting in traffic and literally fuming at the fact that there's a level crossing in the local area. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.
Thank the member for Higgins.